Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review of the 2023 horror thriller Dark Windows. The film is directed by Alex Herron and it stars Rory Alexander, Vanessa Borgley, Anna Bullard, and Christine Donlan. Now, the film follows a group of teens who are grieving after the loss of their friend who died in a vehicle accident. They may have had more to do with the vehicle accident than they have made on. However, they seem to have got away with it. Everybody's distraught. They attend the wake, the funeral of their friend, and then they head off to the typical horror cabin in the woods type thing, or on the lake, to kind of rest and recuperate and try and heal and get over the trauma of what has happened. However, once there, they are stalked by a masked killer who is hell-bent on seeking out justice. Right, what are my thoughts on Dark Windows? This film is a fairly typical home invasion stroke masked killer stroke slasher film. However, it tries to put, if you like, I'm not sure how to really to phrase this, but almost like an indie film twist to it. And by that, I suppose, it isn't doing either genres any favour here, really, whether it be thriller, whether it be horror, whether it be indie, whatever you want to label this film, because big chunks of this film are absolutely dull as dishwater. It honestly was probably one of the dullest home invasion stroke, masked killer type films I've ever seen, really. So much of this film is just filmed with teen angst, regret, and it's not as if you can enjoy those scenes because, number one, you don't like the characters. None of them are likable. I couldn't connect to any of them, really, and I had no sympathy for them. Why would you? They had far more to do with the death of this poor girl than they've admitted, so essentially they've got away with, what they did. So why would I care, or why would I even connect to these characters? There was nothing there for me to actually give a monkey's about with these characters. So they were deeply unlikable, and quite honestly, they deserved everything they got in this film. So, like, much of these long, drawn-out scenes of them, debating or arguing about what's gone on and how some of them seem to have got over it better than others and so on and so forth. It just kind of regurgitates that formula for massive chunks of the film, and it draws it out to a snail's pace, this film. And even when this masked assailant starts stalking them or, doing what he does, even then that's not overly interesting. The best part of this film was the last 10 minutes. It had a fairly impactful end to the film when everything is revealed, if you like. When the curtain is raised, the master assailant is revealed, which doesn't take a rocket science to figure out who it is. And, the final act of the film takes place. And it's almost like poetic justice, really. So it was it worth the drawn-out affair that led up to that last 10 minutes? No, quite honestly, absolutely wasn't. I really, really found this film a struggle to get through. And films like this, it misses the mark. Number one, it takes itself far too seriously, and a lot of, films like this, they kind of know how to have fun with the audience, and it'll tip its hat to things that have come before, or, I'm quite accustomed to watching films like this and not connecting to the characters and not feeling any sympathy for the characters because they might have it coming for some reason or other. But this film, because it takes itself so seriously and it's such a dark, I mean, it's like a dark cloud following it around everywhere. Everyone's so glum and down and grim, and it's just, it's almost depressing to watch. But fair enough, if you don't want us to connect to these characters, that's all well and good, but give us something a little bit more entertaining to watch so that when it comes to these characters kind of potentially getting their comeuppance or whatever, we can actually, engage and enjoy in that process. But even that bit really had no real impact. Not massively so, because again, I didn't really care about the characters, and I keep saying that and saying that and saying that, and it's, for me, it's a problem with movies like this. If you're not going to do that and write interesting and thought-provoking characters, or just fun characters, if you are going to take yourself seriously, the writing's got to be better here. The script has got to be better. The pacing's got to be better. You've got to give us something to watch other than these dull characters staring out of windows and having dull conversations for much of the film. Give us something to watch. Teasers. It doesn't even give you any, red jersey killings. And what I mean by that is, in Star Trek, if they went down to the planet and they had a red jersey on, they were dead. And a lot of these movies, you meet a character and the second you meet them, they're dead. They're going to be dead soon, because there's just nothing to them. They're not even fleshed out, even attempted to be fleshed out. You're just like the, loudmouth jock or whatever, they're dead. You don't even get that. It's just the three of these friends up at this kind of lakeside cabin being stalked by this killer. And for me, it just was deeply unwatchable and unpalatable because it was just such if you like, they treated a dark subject matter and they never ever deviated away from that to make it any lighter or anything. And I get it, that's what they were going for, but it doesn't make for an entertaining watch in my opinion. So Dark Windows is exactly that really. It's a dark movie, if you like. So for me, I didn't garner a great deal of enjoyment from this. Don't get me wrong, I think the performances were all of a decent standard here. The film itself was, fairly well polished, even though, like I say, it did feel very much like an indie film. They were trying to go at times for that art house feel, and it just didn't work. Much of what they tried didn't work here in this film for me. So I would say for fans of home invasion films and masked killer films, if you like, your Screams and all that kind of stuff and all the other great home invasion films going as well, you're probably going to be deeply unsatisfied if you check this one out. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this review. I'll be back with more content on the channel very, very soon.